Hello, welcome back to another one of my videos. Now this is the day of when we're going to actually install the Super Router. But before I do that, I want to show you a quick speed test of the current router, and then we're going to do one of the new router. I'm also going to show you a bit about the HG612 and what the best conditions are before you actually change the router. You don't have to think about it, to be honest, much, but I'm like that, so I like to make sure, and I'll just show you about what it is you need to look for if you decide to do that, and you like to decide to do what I'm doing if you want. So first we need to get a browser up to actually access the internet, so we can go to the speedtest.net website. So let's go on Chrome. Now I'm expecting speeds about 24.5 megabits per second. I haven't tested it today, so I don't know what it is, but it'll probably be the same as yesterday because the sync speed hasn't changed, which I'll get into in a minute. There's no throttling like there is on BT, so the speed stays completely the same all the time. This is due to it being LLU, which is basically where the equipment, TalkTalk's equipment, is inside the telephone exchange, so they can decide what they do with their own equipment. So that's how it works. So once we're on the site, you press begin the test. You'll find the best server based on the ping, and which is obviously the York one, which is, that's where I am, 28 milliseconds. Which is okay, but I've seen lower, but because we're into the leave line, it will be a little bit slower than it says. It's a bit, the ping could be lower, but as we're into leave, the ping goes up, which is, I'll talk about in a minute. So 23.85, we saw 24 there as well, so we'll just count it around 24. And we'll remember them for when we come back with the new router and plug the new router in. And about 1.95 on the upload. And that's about normal for TalkTalk services. Well, also it should be a lot higher than that, but the distance from the cab matters in this case because I'm quite far from it, so that's why it's only getting 23.85. So, that's the speed test with it. We're going to actually go now to the actual set, because my setup, I have a HG612 and a HG533 plus super fibre route, sorry, from TalkTalk. So, the HG612 is the BT Open Reach modem. That's connected directly into the back of the HG533, which is TalkTalk's router, and we're going to go to it because I've unlocked it so we can actually see statistics of that router, so I'm just going to log into that now. So, and we're going to show the actual connection statistics as well. So on here we have our line status and statistics. The downstream line rate here is actually how fast you're connected to the fibre cab down the road at. So we're connected at 25.586. If you want to, it's 25.586 megabits per second as they call it, but it's usually when you sync at that, you'll actually get through output speed of about 1.5 megabits per second lower than that. So in this case it would be 24. So as we can see it on the speed test we just did there. So and that basically just tells you how fast you've synced at the exchange for. You've got a line rate here of the upstream. That tells you how fast you're synced on the upload speed. 2000 is what we capped out on TalkTalk, so you won't be able to get any higher than that. Also it tells you the errors you've occurred, which is quite a lot. VEC errors is what it is for interleaving, so if you have any of these you will most likely put on interleaving. Sometimes I've seen people that haven't, but sometimes, usually about 8 times, 9 times out of 10 you'll be put on interleaving if you have VEC errors. Which are forward error correction errors, so it's trying to make your line more stable, that's why it does it. And it basically knocks about 3 meg off your eternal speed, so we could get, when this is at 6, which is the standard default, there's SNR margin, it says about 2930 here, 30,000, which is what we could get if we weren't on interleaving, so that would be, quite good, but unfortunately we're on interleaving, so we have been ever since we got the service. So if they ever decide to let you change it like they do on ADSL, I probably will, because we'll get more for the money, so even if it does make it a little bit unstable. Well, we'll see how it goes. SNR margin, that it tells you is basically what you see that's the signal to noise ratio. Basically, the higher it is on fibre optic, the better it is. The faster your internet will actually be. and the lower it is, obviously, the slower it's going to be. And sometimes, like the other once I've had it as low as 1, and that's when the internet just went. Well, it's actually 2.6. Yeah, it's 2.6, and that's what caused it to go. So the lower it gets, you can just make your internet go really slow. So that's something you need to watch out for. Now it should be around 6 because it's now sunny and it's only 8:43 in the morning. But 4.8 is a little bit low, and that's to do with the master socket that we have downstairs. It's got the MK2 filter, and that's what that the engineer installs on the fibre installs. So and it's caused it to go a little bit funny. It's made the actual SNR pattern go up for the upload and down for the download. I don't ask me why it's done that. So we've got 5.72, well that 5,712 is what we could think at if we had unlocked upload, which would be better, so I could upload websites faster, but it costs more money, so I think we're not doing that. And plus it'd be a bit of a waste of money because the download wouldn't increase in speed. Line attenuation, that's the distance basically measured in decibels between you and the fibre cabinet. 24.6 is about 1,000 metres around there, so that's about how far we are. Output power is how much the output power from the fibre cabinet is. And the turnable rate is what you could get. And that's about it really. Just tells you what what mode you're on and stuff like that. So yeah, that's this bit of the video done. We're gonna go downstairs now, and we're actually gonna change the router. Sorry if I waffled on a bit about this, but I always like to make sure this is around about 6.5 before I begin, because if it's below 6.5 it usually doesn't sync very well, and obviously so it's 4.8. I don't know what we're going to get today. Still, we're going to have a look. So obviously we're going to comparison this when we've connected with the new Super Router. So I'll see you there. I'm going downstairs now, and I'll see you there when we'll connect. Hello, welcome. I'm now downstairs, ready to connect the Super Router up. So what we're going to need for this is we're going to actually need to find the master socket in your house. Now I'm going to show you what it actually looks like over here. Now there might be a bit of camera movement and a bit of strange camera positions, and that's because it's a bit strange. It's a bit hard on a tripod to move it around and get into the actual areas that we might need to be. But I'll try my best, and there might be a bit of editing to try and stop that from happening as much. So if you could bear with that'd be nice. I'm sure you will anyway, so that's okay. We don't really need the box because we've got everything we need out of the box. As you notice, the Ethernet cable's not here, which I'll show you why in a minute. There's no actual computer in here. The computer that I was using a minute ago is actually upstairs, and there's an Ethernet cable all the way downstairs. So it goes on the outside of the house. So we've got the router here. We're going to need the power supply. We're going to not need this, but I'm going to demonstrate if you were a first time Super Router connection, you would need this to connect to the internet, which is basically just a normal mic filter that you plug in just if you had ADSL anyway, which you could probably just reuse your old one, and that'll just be fine as well. But I don't know. It doesn't say anything about this being directly for VDSL, which is fibre optics, so I don't know whether that will work. Whether it matters really, to be honest. So, the master socket. The master socket is basically, this device, this little connection down here, that basically your telephone line enters into the house. Now, as you might have seen, I've done a lot of modification to it over the years, and that's, it's not been too bad. The BT engineers, when they came round, weren't bothered. Some people say they would be, but they didn't care, to be honest. I think we probably had one of them subcontractors like Kelly's or whatever to do it. I don't know. I wasn't here when the fibre was installed originally. Anyway, so this will make our installation a lot easier due to the way this master socket currently already is. Now this is a filtered faceplate, and this is where the fibre optic is. That's where you plug your broadband into, that one, and the one below it is your phone. And we'll show you how to do that. Connect that up through that way, and we'll also show you how you connect it up as if it was a normal master socket that didn't look like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just unwire or tangle this, which may take some time, and then I'll come back with the master socket looking slightly different. So if you were a first time installer, what it looked like to install it. Welcome back. Now this is what your master socket will actually look like. If you just bought fibre optic through, say, TalkTalk or BT, or EE and Sky, I think, as well. Basically, you won't have got this component to connect to the master socket as well, which sits on the front, as you could probably imagine. Basically, what you'd do if you're a first-time installation of fibre optic, you get your little modem cable and your microfilter. Basically, you plug this into the wall, like so, and you plug your phone into one side, like so, and you'd also plug your, and this would be obviously connected here, you basically connect that to the back of your router through the broadband port on the back here, the back of the super router. You connect that grey cable to the back of the super router. That's how you do it if you a brand new fibre customer. I'll hopefully be able to go into a bit more when I start installing it. It's a little bit of a faff when I've got it like this. Obviously, usually you just have stuff already inside the master socket when you come to install it. This one, I've also put it small. That's the way it used to be, just to show what it'd be like when you were first time installer. So, also now what we're going to do is we're actually going to install it the way it used to be. Back with that faceplate inside, so I'll put that back in, and you can also buy one as well if you wanted to improve your speed through broadband, through ADSL as well. It works for both. That'll work because it's basically a filtered faceplate, so you could get one as well and it would work if you had slow speeds, or you just wanted to get rid of the dangly microfills. You could do that, and speeds will be better than a microfill because microfills aren't as good as the faceplates. So that should make your speed a little more better. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to put the faceplate back in, and then I'm going to show you how you will connect it if it was already pre-connected. So here we go. Hello, welcome back. This is the my setup here of the actual current fibre router that TalkTalk now use for the Plus TV Essentials customer, Plus TV customer, sorry. And that's all HG612 BT OpenReach modem that you'll get supplied. You won't usually get supplied the DCI one now because the HG612 is unlockable, you see. So you can actually have a look at statistics, and BT didn't like that, so they stopped giving them to people now. Or like PlusNet, if you still order through PlusNet, you'll still get one of these boxes. You won't get one of these all-in-one routers, which is a bit of a mess because obviously the wiring, as you can probably have a look around here, is a bit of a mess. And as we can see, it's a little bit of a tangle and there's a lot of wires everywhere. So what we're going to do first is we're going to actually remove all this equipment and actually plug in the new stuff. So if we get around here first. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to unplug all this from here, and we're going to need to do the same again for our router. That's all TalkTalk currently do. So if we just start already, doesn't matter, just unplug it all, like so, and just set it somewhere where you might want to keep it spare. I'll keep it just in case it all goes wrong and you might need to use the other TalkTalk router again, because that is a possibility. Now also you can see the difference in size between the super router and the old one. There is a size difference. They are thinner. The TalkTalk Super Router is thinner than the old one. So we're gonna disconnect this router as well. Similar ways to the other one. Just disconnect the Ethernet cables. So it doesn't matter if they fall on the floor. So like so. And just set that again to the side as well if you want to keep that spare. Basically now this is all we're interested in, is the actual super router. And also I'm going to get down now to the back here and tidy up the cables. Also as you can see, there's now a little bit of a mess of cables everywhere. And I'll show you how to connect it all up. Now that's fine, we can disconnect all the cables, like the power cables we won't need anymore because the new system runs on a different power supply. So what we can do is we can just disconnect them straight away. pull them out and set them aside if you need to use the equipment again in the future, and store them somewhere safe, so that it doesn't get damaged. So now what we're going to need to do is we're going to actually need to install the actual connections into the router, into the new router. So if I can get around here with the tripod. So now we've got this here and we can actually see what we're going to be doing. What we need to do is we need to actually get the power source connection, which is our little power plug here, and we'll just sit that into our extension lead, which we already have down here, like so, and we will run that wire behind the back of the tripod, because obviously the tripod's coming out, so run that out the back, and we'll basically just select it in, push it in to the back here of the router, the power part here on the back of the router, like so. Next, we need to actually plug our DSL cable in. We're going to reuse the one that was plugged into the HG612. It's just easier that way. So to do that, we just need to again just do the similar way as you did to the power. Plug it in like so. In we go. Next thing, we're going to plug in the Ethernet cable, which is the one that goes upstairs. So I can do videos up there, which is basically this, and that basically slots into number 1 on the back here. Simple as, really. It's not much to it at all. Now what we can do is switch it on and actually find out if the system works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn it on from the side here, and we're actually going to watch the lights change and light up, and hopefully we should get a good internet speed, hopefully versus what we had earlier on the previous video. So the on and off switch is on the side here. All you need to do is push it in and wait for the system to start up. Now this could take a few minutes to do. While you're doing that, you can wait for, you can actually just tidy up and put things away where they were, so you don't have to come back to all this in the future. If you feel like you can set it up the first way is if you're a normal customer, and just use a microfilter if you want to. I wouldn't recommend plugging the microfilter into the actual filtered filter plate I've got down there, because that wouldn't work very well. So you're double filtering it, so it probably wouldn't work at all actually. So I wouldn't try that at all. But make sure you've got everything clean. Broadband light is flashing, it's trying to connect to the service. There we go, we've connected. I'm just now waiting for internet light. The internet light is now red, so there we go, green. We've now got the internet. So now, it's still flashing red a little bit. Let's have a look. There we go, completely solid internet now, colour. And that's a good sign, that means the internet is connected. What we're going to do now, I'm actually going to go upstairs and give it a quick speed test and look at the line statistics with you, and to see what the actual change was. That's the thing that's changed, if anything's new to come about. Welcome back, we're now upstairs. We're going to actually test the internet connection, and we're actually going to see what the speed was we connected up to the cabinet, and yeah, basically see if there's any difference in speed. So we're just going to open a browser first, and navigate to 192.168.1.1, presented with the user login page, which I went through yesterday. Just log in. So if you want to check the internet connection, you're going to have to click that. It basically just shows you your IP address, which obviously I won't show when it comes to the video, when it's online. Upstream line rate 2000, which basically is the highest you can get on the upload. Downstream is 22,459, which is a lot lower than the HG612 synced at, which isn't so great, but that'll be because the DLM is not used to what is not sure on this device yet, which is basically the DLM is the dynamic line management that changes your speed depending on if it sees any errors or not. So basically, or if it just wants to change it because it thinks it's not right, it's not used to it. So basically, it's probably put the speed lower because it doesn't know what this device is, so it's having to retrain again with this device to see to make it better again. So we'll give it a couple of weeks, and then I will probably turn it off, turn it back on again, and see what speed we can hit at again. Hopefully it'll be a lot better than 22,459. But for now it's okay, and it shows us what it does. So basically it tells us what our SNR is again, 6.4, stream is 13.6, the line standard is VDSL, it's obviously saying our downstream interleave depth is none. Obviously it is we have got interleaving on, so though it hasn't come up, though I believe that is a fault of some description. Downstream output power, basically similar to what the last one did. Downstream line attenuation has gone down a lot though. That's a good benefit. But somehow it hasn't improved the speed for some strange reason. So that's basically the line statistics of what we've connected at. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to do a speed test with speedtest.net as we did before, and we're just going to press the begin test. .33, so it is going a little bit higher, but obviously that's the fibre cabinet. It's very much solid now. The speed is here. This used to be a little more jaggedy. It's very solid, as you can see. It's a lot better than the last time, because it used to be a little bit all over the place. If you remember, it's very solid. So that's great. And obviously the upload speed is still all over the place. But that's the upload speed for you. We should get very similar to what we had before, if it decides to do that. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. So that is how fast our new internet connection is through the Super Router, which is a little bit lower than what it was before, but it will speed up hopefully over time, just when the DLM becomes accustomed to the device. So again, thank you for watching my video. I hope it helps you. If you're not sure on some of the things I did, just send me a message or whatever. There should be get some guides on the internet, which I'll link to in the description as well, if you're unsure about the first time installation, because it was obviously a little bit harder for me to do that because I wasn't doing it that way. I was going to be doing it as if you already had fibre. So I'll put a guide on that as well on there from TalkTalk. Also there'll be some indie box as well, how to do it. So it's fairly straightforward stuff really. So thank you again for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you very much.